$1 million. Can Branagh and Emily Day stop the #1 seeds in today's centre court match?
Well, I think the answer to that is absolutely, but they're going to have to play some of the best volleyball that they've ever played. There's a look at Emily Day subbing in for Kerry Walsh-Jennings, who got injured. Emily Day, 29 years of age. Her best finish, second place in Phuket back in 2013. And her partner, the three-time winner on the FIVB Tour, 38 years of age, the 6'2" Nicole Branagh. Across the net, a woman who needs no introduction. She is the winningest player in the history of the FIVB. She's one of the best defenders, a 9-time setter of the year. She possesses just about every skill possible, the highest volleyball IQ that I have ever seen in the women's game, and that is Larissa Franksa Maestrini. We just call her Larissa, and she is something special. On the other side of the court with Larissa is Talita, 34 years of age, 5'11", but a dominant player up at the net. She packs a punch as well with 34 FIVB victories to her name. So talk about experience. You really have it on the court here today, and a couple of world international legends in Talita and Larissa. The question is, can they win not only today, but can they win this world championship? Something that they would love to do. Larissa won a world championship back in 2011 with Juliana. Talita has yet to do so. So this team really focused, really gunning for that top spot.
This would be a huge scalp for the USA if Branagh and Day can pull this one off. Biggest test for this brand new team. There is Nicole Branagh. Of course, the USA in red, white and blue, and green and yellow for Brazil. Branagh to get the action underway here on centre court. Oh, but look at that, Larissa already showing her skills. It wasn't the best serve received from Talita, but Larissa gets her partner out of trouble.
Love the serve by Nicole Branagh. You have to attack this team. If you serve them easy, they will crush you. And then Emily Day at the net, she has to be very effective. I expect 4 to 5 blocks out of her if the United States is to get the win.
Here comes Larissa again, over the top of Emily Day.
And that's that volleyball IQ I'm talking about. Look how easy she makes it look. Comes in nice and smooth, and then she puts that ball just out of reach of Day over the line. And already looking extremely confident and smooth are the Brazilians.
Oh, good save from Emily Day. Larissa sets for Talita, now up at the net. Again, good work from Branagh, and Emily Day puts the United States of America's first point on the board.
Well, that's right there. You see the physicality of Emily Day. Here, the shank pass, keeping it alive is Day. And then when she gets this opportunity to come in and hit that set with no one at the net, you better put on your helmet, because she packs a big punch, a cannon of an arm right there. Emily Day right down the middle.
And here is the 29-year-old from California, Torrance, California, with service for America. Again, little kiss off the net, but Talita has it covered. And Talita puts her first score of the opening set and puts it down in a very positive and powerful manner. Advantage clearly with Brazil.
Talita, a shorter player in terms of a blocker at 5'11". You see a lot of women out here at 6'2", 6'3", but she makes up for it with technique. She gets her hand on the ball. A lot of times she stuffs and gets a lot of blocks in streaks. She's very dangerous up at that net.
Here's Branagh with service. Well, she's looking for that big, powerful jump serve, but hits the ball way too deep into the Brazilian court. spots the gap in the court very nicely. Nicole Branagh.
Just a solid shot right here. You see the set, it's about 6 feet off the net. She just shifts down and goes with a nice, smooth cross-court shot. Very accurate to the line.
Emily Day with service. Americans targeting Talita, but this time it goes to Larissa. Not so sure serving to Larissa is the best tactical play, Dane. Your thoughts?
Well, I mean, your choices are limited, right? You got Larissa or Talita. Talita has been voted best hitter on tour multiple times, and Larissa, so solid and so consistent right there. Emily Day trying to be aggressive, going cross court. I like that approach. She got outside, really rips this cross court, but she just runs out of real estate, just missing by about 6 inches.
Talita with service. Oh, and that's almost the perfect drop serve. But just falls the Brazilian side of the court.
Good look at Nicole Branagh. She was the most improved player on the FIVB tour way back in 2008, if you can believe it. So she's been out here quite a bit, retired for a few years, had a couple kids, and now kind of rejuvenated and back on tour after Kerry Walsh-Jennings asked her to play. And the fact that Kerry Walsh-Jennings now out with a shoulder injury, she's playing with Emily Day, but she is turning it up. And there is Talita. Remember, she's sneaky at the net. Great form. Pressing over. Her timing is really impeccable. That's what makes her such a good blocker, putting her hands in the right spot at just the right time.
Starting to find a good rhythm here, Brazil. Good shot. Very good shot from Emily Day. That's an important point on the board for the Americans.
Yeah, that was solid right there. Emily Day knowing exactly where that corner is. I mentioned earlier, Emily Day hasn't won a gold on the FIVB World Tour, but she's won 5 AVP events back in the United States.
From Brazil again. They're really pushing the USA to full capacity from a work rate perspective.
That's what they do. They give themselves as many opportunities as possible. They limit their unforced errors. If they don't have a winner, they put in court so they give themselves another chance. They want you to make the mistakes, and that's what's got them out to this 9-5 lead.
Talita, 34 years of age, residing in Rio de Janeiro, serves. Oh, and it's an ace serve from Talita. Now 5 clear, Brazil.
Jump float right down the middle. It's the serve of choice for most players on tour. That flat jump float serve has all sorts of movement on it. That almost is a trickler, but it stays on the Brazilian side. Point the United States.
It's a good serve from Branagh. It's a big point on the board as well for the American duo.
Branagh, a physical player, loves to rip that serve. That one in the sweet spot, right down the middle. Larissa looked like she almost had it, but the serve was just too good.
But Talita responds immediately with an accurate cross-court shot.
You hear the switch it. They switched their defense, so Emily Day must have been blocking angle. Then she switched to line, but it seemed like a little miscommunication from the Americans. Kind of looked at each other in confusion after that ball landed.
Again, quality play. The Brazilians seem to have so much more time on court than the American players.
Well, you know, they're very relaxed and they're very comfortable playing with one another. You know, Larissa, when she used to play with Juliana, was a lot more wound up, a lot more tight, I guess you would say it, and a lot more stressed. That time, Nicole Branagh getting the kill. But Larissa, as she's aged and gotten more mature, they're very stoic when they play. The chemistry's there. They know what they're capable of doing, and so it looks like a no-stress situation. They're never yelling at one another, very relaxed, and it seems to be working. That's how you get the #1 seed.
Oh, that's a good serve from Emily Day. A very important point for the United States of America going into the technical timeout that tells us we're at the halfway point of the opening set. 12-9 to Brazil, but the USA pulling a couple of valuable points back there.
And they're doing it by tough serving. Remember, I said you can't serve the Brazilians easy or they'll make you pay. And here, some communication.
Eu fui até ela e ia deixar passar e ela caiu. Eu tentei
Pois é, porque você ficou parada no seu lugar.
Eu fui até lá.
Só, não, tô dizendo na hora que ela bate. Só cuida pra ela não dar
They do seem very cool, don't they, the Brazilians? I mean, I don't speak Portuguese, Dane, but they could have been chatting about their favourite movie or what they're going to watch on the TV tonight there. It's a lovely conversation. We've seen other Brazilians yelling at each other. If you remember Tayana and Maya early today, Tayana was giving her partner such a ticking off. But as you called it perfectly, Larissa and Talita just having a very friendly, relaxed chat, but obviously talking tactics at the same time.
Yeah, and I believe Talita knew the history with Larissa and Juliana, and when she agreed to be partners with Larissa, you know, there was a conversation there that that's not how our partnership's going to go. And obviously, much more mature Larissa doesn't get nearly as fired up and angry as she used to.
Well, Brazil come back out on court after the technical timeout and open the score once again 4 clear.
How about that corner? We call that hitting the X in the corner. That's just perfect.
Good shot from Branagh. Hitting the ball right into the arms of Talita, who puts it out of play.
I think every single play out here, Branagh seems to get better and more comfortable, and that form that we've seen out of her previously. Such a strong player, not only physically, but very mentally focused, plays with a lot of passion.
Oh, a serve from Larissa there. First one of the match, 4th of the tournament. 5 down now. Emily Day gets a hold of that one. And a very good spike. The potential's there for the Americans to cause the upset. Just need to slightly fire things up a little.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Look at that line shot. Emily Day getting nicely outside and then coming in, shoulders cross court, ripping it down the line.
Oh, and Emily Day puts an ace against her name on the stat list. Good shot.
Look at the movement. A great passer usually. Larissa, she takes a look at her glasses after. And like maybe she didn't have clear vision there. And now she's actually put her glasses on her head. Larissa has. So it's getting a little darker with a cloud cover, not as bright out. Maybe not tracking the ball as well.
There's a world-class shot from Larissa. Down the middle of the 2 American players, right on the baseline of the American court. There is a replay just before the baseline, to be precise. There's a good Brazilian contingent within the crowd. Another good shot from Emily Day at the net.
Emily Day playing at a really high level right now, elevating her game. She knows this is a huge opportunity. You know, a week ago she was thinking, I don't get to go to the World Championship. So the fact that she has this opportunity to play with Nicole Branagh, I know that she is taking full advantage of it as the Brazilians get out to a 17-13 lead after that service error.
Well, I hate to say that service error could be the turning point for the Brazilians. Oh, well, they give one away in return. 3 clear. Emily Day will serve for the Americans. And this is where the point run needs to come now for the USA. Talita on the attack for Brazil.
Go!
Over the top of Emily Day. Branagh cannot cover in the defense. 4 clear Brazil.
Making it look easy right there. Taking a look, and then over the top. You see the rotation on that ball. When you put that rotation on the ball, getting to the sand a little bit quicker. And there, Emily going right back at Talita with a shot of her own down the line. Good focus, good double arm lift, and then noticing the open court and executing just right for Emily Day.
Branagh with service. Serving Larissa this time, who attacks. And again, they're not the tallest players in the competition, the Brazilian ladies, but they have fantastic athleticism. And here's a classic example from Larissa.
Remember, Larissa, as you mentioned, Nick, she's just 5 feet 9 inches tall, so definitely not one of the taller players, but maybe the most control that we've ever seen.
Oh, and it is now set point for Brazil.
Emily Day trying to go at the retreating blocker of Talita, and then Emily tries to retreat herself, but that time Talita really makes her pay.
Larissa with service, looking to wrap this up, 21-15. It's a lovely little float serve. Emily Day attacks for the USA. Talita has it covered. Here's the set. Now Talita looks to finish, and she does it cross court with a lovely cut shot. Brazil take the opening set, 21-15. The #1 seeds in control against the 25-seeded Nicole Branagh and Emily Day. The Americans must win the second set to take it to a third tiebreak. Dane, we had high hopes that the American ladies could possibly give the Brazilians a run for their money. Without being too critical, you can see why the Brazilians are seeded #1.
They're just smooth. They're a finely tuned machine, and Larissa and Talita communicate so well. Talita starting to pull off the net quite often if the set's not perfect by the Americans, and she's making Emily Day pay right there. Emily has to rip that ball. If Talita drops on her, you got to rip it at her. If you roll shot at her, she's going to make you pay. She's going to dig it up and then convert, as we saw in that final point in the first set.
Confirmation that the first set goes to Brazil, 21-15. Look at some of the stats there, 16-9 on the attacking stat. That's what the Americans need to tidy up in this second set that they have to win, Dane, to take it to a third tiebreaker.
Yeah, what I do like about the Americans' game right now is they're rolling the dice from the back line. They're trying to serve tough because that's the only way you beat this team. Get them out of system. So continue to serve tough regardless if you miss a few. Stick with the game plan, serve them tough, and try to hang with this Brazilian duo till the end of the set, and then maybe strike. There, a hit down the line. Emily Day just out of bounds. That looks extremely close from our angle. Take a look at it again. She's up, goes down the line, yeah, about 2 inches wide.
It's a lovely short float from Talita. Larissa just punches the ball over in one. And Larissa is there again on cover, and this time Talita kills it. And that was the stat of the first set. The attacking stat was way in advantage for Brazil than it was to the USA, and there's another example of how the Americans are losing out.
And Nick, you know, you pegged it perfectly when you said the Americans really having to work for their points. You see this? Keep the ball in play regardless, and then when you have the opportunity to strike, There's Talita putting it away, celebrating with that passion, but they're making it so difficult for the United States to just side out, receive serve, and put the ball away.
That's better play. Spotting that both of the Brazilian players were dropping off the net. Puts it down short.
Nice cut shot, and that'll give Emily Day some confidence.
Nicole Branagh with service. 38 years of age, but as hungry for victory as ever. Larissa, attack. Emily Day drops off the net and picks it up nicely, but they've got to kill that ball, because that's exactly what the Americans are doing, and the Brazilians are doing, I should say, Dade, and the Americans are struggling with. My apologies.
Well, it's all about a complete play. Emily Day made a great decision to drop off the net, got the dig. Look at that, puts it up perfectly, but like you said, Nick, right here, she's got to crush that ball. She's got to finish off the play in transition, and she's unable to. Another controlled block by Talita, going right to Larissa. Larissa teeing it up, and it's just textbook volleyball coming from the Brazilians right now.
Well, the Brazilians won their first match, but had to go to 3 sets with it, and we weren't that convinced with their form. I think it was because they were playing one of the Austrian teams, but this is Larissa and Talita at their best. Everything is on target, nothing seems to go wrong. Confidence building, quite possibly at an all-time high here in Vienna.
A lot of passion from Talita right now. The United States going to take an early timeout so this thing doesn't get too far out of hand.
High if you swing in a high line or a high shot, like if you call. Yeah, what's that? Tell me. If you can recognize it, call it. Show it. Yell
I like that. A lot of positivity at that timeout. The veteran 38-year-old Nicole Branagh giving some encouragement and some direction to the younger Emily Day, 29 years of age. And we mentioned it earlier, Nicole Branagh winning on the FIVB 3 times. Emily Day, second is her best finish. So this big stage, a lot more familiar to Nicole Branagh.
Well, a good point on the board for the USA, justifying the call of the timeout. Just looking to break the concentration, break the rhythm for Brazil. 7 points on the board, so we side switch the court. And here is Emily Day serving Larissa. Remember, the Americans have already won their opening match against Germany on Saturday here on centre court. Good cover from Larissa to allow Talita to almost finish it. It's the same from Branagh for the Americans. Larissa again, spectacular play.
Well, you know, you only get one chance to put that ball away. If you give the Brazilians 2 chances, they make it look easy like that. She knows where you're going. If you make one false step one direction, she goes the opposite.
Still targeting Emily Day, Brazil. Talita drops off the net and successful with the block. Emily Day not so successful. 5 points clear now, the Brazilians. They've already cleaned up the first set at 21-15, and they're already starting to dominate the second.
Great hustle by the United States there, but just a little too much power coming from Brazil. I like that little mix-up, go over on 2. The veteran Nicole Branagh knows she needs to give the Brazilians a little bit different look. She comes in here with aggression, goes right, head up at Larissa.
Branagh serves Talita this time. Oh, but misses it. Good shot from Talita. This is a golden opportunity for both the American and the Brazilian side. The top Austrian team plays on centre court after this match, and it's filling up at a rapid rate. So it's going to be at 10,000 capacity here on Sunday evening. And for the ladies down on court, well, it's a little bit of a warm-up for the atmosphere come finals weekend, this time next week, Dane. And Brazil, if nothing else, seem to revel the louder the crowd get.
Yeah, they're just playing so strong right now, and the United States having trouble with serve reception, and when that is an issue, it's hard to get the rest of your game going. And you see it once again. Brazil serving the ball tough. They're hungry every time, and if you don't get an initial pass, it's so hard to run an offense and put the ball to the sand versus the Brazilians, and they're really exposing the United States right now.
7 points clear, Brazil. Talita with service. Serves again to Emily Day. Day now on the attack for America. Great shot. We need a few more of those. 14 on the board. Side switch once again. Clouds starting to darken. There may be a little rain coming in. That's not going to stop Brazil right now. In control of this second set at 10-4. And they're 1-0 ahead. Emily Day is at the back of the court for the USA. Serves Talita. Larissa with the set for her partner. Again, that cut shot, such an effective piece of work for Talita. Very rarely gets it wrong.
Talita, such a strong player. Look at her go cross court. You know, she's a 3-time Olympian. She's never brought home a medal. Got a 4th with Renata Ribeiro in 2008, a 9th with Maria Antonelli in 2012, and of course, that 4th place finish with Larissa in 2016.
Oh, Talita with her partner Larissa in all kinds of trouble. But that is the quality and class of these two players. That's why they're the #1 seeds. They get themselves out of trouble with some great play. Keep their cool and calm and just finish it so clinically.
Larissa dominating at the net. And as I mentioned, that Olympic experience, imagine going to the Olympics, 3 different Olympics, 3 different partners. She can play with anybody. So effective. The Americans having a little discussion here, down 12-4. They have dug themselves quite a hole. Is it possible? Yes. Is it probable? I don't think so against the Brazilians who are playing so well. Another shank pass right there, which doesn't look like a tough serve, but it is moving left and right, up and down that jump float serve from Talita. And the United States just hasn't had an answer.
Well, it's good to see Emily Day and Nicole Branagh keeping their head high, keeping the communication going. But one has to ask if they're running out of answers or ideas here. Look at Talita again. There's that favourite shot of hers. We see it from the camera high above the court. 14 for 10 clear.
I've seen this team play so often, and sometimes they're even a little too mellow, but I'm seeing a lot of passion out of Talita, a lot of hunger. They know this is the World Championship, the biggest tournament aside from the Olympics, and they are hungry here in pool play. They know if they can get another victory, they will assure themselves a spot in the knockout rounds, a single elimination, which begins next Wednesday.
I think they're a little humbled as well, Dane, by being forced to go to 3 sets in their opening match by the wild-card entrants from Austria. And that was, of course, Katharina Holzer and Teresa Strauss. 48 seeds, taking them to 3 sets. So they've come out now saying, okay, we've had our warm-up, let's start getting into the groove and down to business.
Yeah, when you lose a set to the 48 team, it's kind of a wake-up call. You win the match, and you know you're fine, but they need to raise that standard, and there's a rip cross court by the 5'9" Larissa. And that's the technical timeout. Rarely do you see a technical timeout 16-5, usually 12-9, 11-10, but 16-5. Total domination. The United States not even opting to go to their rest area. They are standing on the court discussing things, and it must feel to them that they haven't even gotten going here. Apparently we have a challenge on the court, and they're calling that ball out of bounds.
Now that will explain why the Americans didn't go back to the dugout.
Yeah, it seemed kind of odd. I'd never seen a team stay out there, so they were waiting for the ruling on the challenge, and the ball is ruled out of bounds. And so now they'll take the technical timeout, and the clock will start, but the Americans will take their rest. There you see the successful blocks, 3-0, all Talita up at the net, and successful attacks, 27-13. Real execution going on the Brazilian side.
Yeah, 14 more successful attacks for Brazil than the USA. That is why they're 16-5 ahead. It's a scoreline that you very rarely see at the technical timeout.
Crowd going crazy here, having a good time, getting the wave going, and this crowd for sure enjoying this match, but anticipating their top #1 men's team of Doppler and Horst, who will be on center court next.
Yeah, it's a full house now. 16-5 to Brazil, the #1 seeds. They have looked a little unsure in their opening match on Saturday, but they're back to the form that so many of us expect to see. A little bit of a confusion due to that challenge that was called right before the technical timeout. 15-6. So the Americans were awarded the point for the challenge. Call from Emily Day to her partner, Branagh. The line. Emily Day could see the shot, Branagh could not.
Yeah, beautiful communication, great hustle on the Brazilian side. And see, they give themselves another chance. This time the Americans are ready. Great communication by Emily Day to Branagh, and the shot right down the line. The experience, Branagh playing well right there. Great court vision.
Emily Day with service. Can the United States of America pull this back? Here's Talita attacking for Brazil. 16-7.
Talita has to love it. When you're playing with a player like Larissa, and to think that she's won 9 times the setter of the year, that's voted on by your peers. And it's just an incredible run of awards to get that. She's won all sorts of awards on tour, but 9 times the best setter, has beautiful hands. There's a set right up and the poke. Wow.
Well, great play from all 4 players on court. But again, Dane, when the pressure's really on, they just seem to be able to keep their cool with a wider repertoire of shots than world #1s.
Yeah, they just see that court a little bit better, and their communication is there, and they have command of where that ball is at all times. That ball control is so essential.
Larissa with service for Brazil. 10 points clear of the USA, having already wrapped up the first set at 21-15. And it's an ace serve! Oh, and that will surely add even more damage to the American confidence. 18-7 to Brazil. Larissa with her 3rd ace of the match. That one's out of bounds.
Brazil keeps the United States guessing. You know, if you're the U.S., you got to play those really close balls and control your own destiny. There's a good look at Nicole Branagh, 2008 Olympian. Finished 5th place with Elaine Youngs. She's had quite a career.
Great service from Branagh, but Larissa's got the measure of it and puts the ball away to go 19-8 clear.
High shot, good block by Emily Day, but the shot perfectly in that corner.
Almost an ace serve from Talita this time. Lovely set. Spectacular play from Brazil. They can do no wrong. The crowd are on their feet. Match point for the #1 seeds.
All I can say is, wow, Nick. The drop off the net. Look how good Talita has gotten at this play. She drops off, makes it look easy, grabs that thing with 2 hands, which you can do when that ball's driven. And then more importantly, her conversion is so powerful, ripping that ball down the line.
Good shot for Emily Day. Match point #2 for Brazil. Just looking for a side out here. Larissa Talita. Emily Day will serve for the Americans. Serves Talita. Larissa with the set ball. Talita on the attack. Tools that block off Emily Day. 21-9. 2-0. Dane, if there was any question that the #1 seeds weren't looking that great on Saturday, today on Sunday, they really do live up to that top-ranked status.
Yeah, some eyebrows were raised when they lost to that Austrian 48 seed team. Just a set. They won the match, but they lost the set. People are like, wow, is Brazil ready to go? Well, they answered all the questions here against Team USA. They just took it to them. They looked really good. That was some high-level play on the Brazilian side, and they were playing with a lot more passion than I've seen them as of late. I think, of course, everyone holds this tournament in the highest regard, and I think, you know, Larissa knows. She's been out here some time and they'll only have 1 world championship. She'd like to win yet again.
There was a big disappointment from Larissa and Talita at the Rio Summer Olympic Games last summer, where they only managed 4th position as the #1 seed. You almost get the feeling that they're trying to make amends for that poor performance. I say poor performance, 4th position. There's a chance here to make amends by taking World Championship gold when they missed Olympic gold.
Oh, absolutely. They have something to prove every time they get on the court, because it's so difficult to challenge. And like you said, 4th place, that's not a bad finish in the Olympics, but it was in Rio, was at home, and they expect big things out of themselves. There you see the confirmation, 2-0 for the for Brazil. And taking a look at the match statistics, 3 blocks to 0. That's all Talita. 32-15 in terms of total attack. Complete domination for the Brazilians.
Well, Day and Branagh still hold on to 2nd position. Remember, the top 2 teams automatically go through to the elimination round, but there is no question that the #1 seeds, Larissa and Talita, are the dominant force at the top of Pool A. Let's go down to Julius Brink and hear from the winning Brazilian team.